Okay, so in today's video, I had a couple topics that I wanted to kind of go over and discuss. I wrote a couple of them down. I may cover all of these, I may not. It just depends. But one thing that I really did want to kind of speak on was like how we allow our fear to hold us back from certain things that we may be wanting to do, like certain projects, you know, uh, just in day-to-day life, how fear, can affect us and stop us from moving forward. And why that usually happens. Usually, sometimes fear comes out of the feeling of the need to control the situations around you that you can't possibly control. So when we're trying to control too much stuff, or trying to, how can I say, achieve a desired outcome instead of allowing things to just be and flow naturally. Sometimes we want to try to, just put our hands on it instead of allowing things to be. And allowing that acceptance and that surrender, and also allowing ourselves to be, and also understanding that we do not have to like be in any certain way. And that's what a lot of people mean when they speak on like oneness, or just being. Like, there's no particular way to be, there's no particular way to just move through life. Just allowing yourself that vulnerability in that room for error, and also allowing yourself the ability to kind of surrender, just to day-to-day activities and experiences, is actually pretty freeing, and pretty peaceful once you realize, like, hey, I don't have to try to control, I don't have to control everything. Like, things are going to happen, things are going to come up, that you can't, that you possibly can't control. People are going to, you can't control people, you can't control other people's behaviors and actions. And sometimes through, we will put ourselves in our own mental prison trying to control somebody else's behavior and somebody else's actions. The only person's behavior and actions that we have control over is ours. We have to be more nurturing and gentle on ourselves, and kind of allowing ourselves like that, I guess, the room for error, and stop placing expectations on ourselves. It's good to have goals and desires and aspirations, but when you focus on, like, I have to be this kind of way, I have to do this kind of way, or this, like this, you know instead of just allowing, just enjoying the experience of not knowing, is a beautiful experience when you allow yourself to just open up and experience life when you don't know what's going to happen. So, and also, I'm not saying like go out and just like make random decisions in life, and like that could possibly be bad decisions, and it's like, oh, I'm just out here just not knowing. Like, you have to have that like discernment, but also have that patience with yourself. And that's it's a it's a hard skill to master, because a lot of times we are so up in our head. Like, before I started this video, I had a rush of anxiety just come under me or come over me. And I'm just like, where is this coming from? Like, trying to figure out where it's coming from. And it's probably, me having an expectation that this video has to be in any kind of certain way. So, like, we're learning through all of our experiences. Like, me just doing this video is a learning experience, and a time to go and reflect, you know, on that. Like, healing is not like, like, when in spirituality, healing is not like, okay, I did the shadow work and I, nurtured my inner child wounds, and then that's just it, we're done. No, healing is continuous throughout life. Like, healing and growth and that maturity just does not stop. But yes, like, another thing I want to talk about was like allowing just like allowance and surrender. Like I wrote something down that actually came to me. I'm not gonna read it word for word, but one of the things that I recently like I was reflecting on, like there was this time where I had put myself in such a state of anxiety because I felt like I had to be positive. Like I wasn't allowing like negative to come in. I wasn't allowing like the anxiety to come in and to actually like stop and like do a examination of myself, like that self-awareness that you have, like okay, where is this feeling coming from? What am I possibly trying to control around me, and what is out of my control, and what how can I allow things to just play out naturally and accept whatever possible outcome happens. So I know like there was a time where I was doing that and it was causing a lot of like internal conflict. I was actually fighting against my own happiness. Like internally, I wanted to be happy. I knew I wanted to be happy, but I was fighting against it by trying to stay in a positive mindset continuously, like not allowing for these other negative emotions to come in, like sadness, fear, loneliness. Sometimes we feel like it's wrong to like experience these emotions or whatnot, so we try to suppress them and throw positivity on there. There's nothing wrong with like positive, being positive, or doing your positive affirmations. But when you're not allowing room for the other emotions, you create your own kind of mental hell. Um and like through like just allowing yourself that room for surrender and acceptance, and just allowing yourself to be and understand that you don't have to be in any certain way. You don't have to be a lot of times like expectations of other people, we take on other people's expectations of us and what they expect us to be. That's family members, relationships with your parents, siblings, love relationships. A lot of the times we take on that energy of well, I have to show up this kind of way in this relationship because societal norms say that this is how you should be, or this is a good child, or this is a good spouse. And we put ourselves in that internal conflict, not being compassionate and understanding to ourselves. We try to control you know how the world perceives us and how we perceive ourselves. So yeah, through just surrendering and just understanding that is no, you don't have to show up any kind of way for anybody but yourself. you know um it's no rush. It's no race. Spirituality, or whatever you want to call it, is not a race. you know the only person that you're in competition with when it comes to that is your own yourself. And even that is not you're fighting yourself when you go into competition with yourself, instead of just like being, just like falling back and just like observing yourself and observing your environment, and just like not becoming. And that's what the other video I did, like don't become your emotions. We should allow ourselves room to experience our emotions, but not like become our emotions. We should be able to do a self checkup, and be able to try to understand like what exactly is happening with us, and what is happening around us in our outside surroundings. Like that's another thing, like you're in control to a degree to your surroundings. If you know that, like, okay, when this person comes around, like if you have control over that, like you can not choose not to be around certain people, but like at different places, like at work and stuff like that, like that's kind of hard to not be around people who you feel you know because there's some people out there, like hurt people. So it's some people out there that's experiencing trauma, that do things that are not kind to other people. So like being able to understand mentally that that person is just projecting their own inner conflict outward, because they aren't really aware of how to, handle or deal with that inner conflict and turmoil. So that's another thing, like that's another way of you not taking into yourself other people's behaviors and other people's, projections, and just allowing yourself to be, and having that compassion for yourself. And it gets easier over time being able to recognize these things. Like when it happens immediately, sometimes we go down the rabbit hole of, we allow people to upset us or get us angry or take us off our square, but as you like practice that emotional or that mental and emotional maturity, or do that work, you start to kind of you know catch yourself. And then you can sit back and just like you're observing what's happening, you're aware of what's happening around you, and you're not taking into yourself, what is happening, uh like the experience or whatnot. Another thing is like I want to speak on was distractions, and how we often distract ourselves, and we distract sometimes. What I found from my experience, I can share my experience. I would find that I would distract myself often with like maladaptive daydreaming, another distraction, TV, phones, food, sometimes people distract themselves with drugs, alcohol. And that's like we distract ourselves when we are not, necessarily trying to actually do that self-reflection. Like when you're feeling these emotions, a lot of times instead of actually like processing them or understanding them, and some people don't have the tools to actually do that. That's why, I hope this video helps people, because some people don't even know that there are tools that you can use to understand and heal and work on your emotions. And just through allowance and surrender, you can do these things. But sometimes we distract ourselves from what we're feeling, and we're fighting against ourselves, fighting against the fact that we actually do want to heal, that we actually do want to understand. It's like our higher selves are, it's like we're in there like, hey, something's going on, like pay attention to me. But we are trying to avert our attention to other things, so we don't have to address that. So just putting yourself in a state of just allowing, and also not trying to show up any kind of way. You just need to show up for you, and just every day as much as you can. That even goes, with like being a parent. You don't have to be this perfect parent. It's not a perfect human. You don't have to be perfect robotic. Like, you just allow yourself to room to make mistakes, and allow yourself to be human. Allow yourself to be able to experience life, and just to love and be vulnerable and be open. Not placing expectations on other people, and expecting other people to make us feel any certain kind of way. We are responsible for that. We are in control of that, or we are in control of our experience that we are sharing with the around us, and people around us. So like not putting those expectations, and just not taking on other people's expectations either. Just allowing that time for self-reflection. Allowing yourself also, like I said, to just like feel those emotions, like whatever negative emotions that we may be feeling, like whether or not, like I said, anxiety, fear, stress, even happiness and love. Some people are afraid of happiness. Some people are afraid to feel happy. I know when I was years back, like I would feel guilty for being happy. And like I have to, like, oh no, I'm being happy, like nobody, I have to level down to what's going on around me, because I would internalize everybody else's issues. I would internalize everybody else's projections. I was so focused on showing up a certain way for other people, like I have to be like this to, you know, kind of keep the peace within the environment around me. So just allowing ourselves to experience these emotions and, you know, processing them, and actually asking yourself, like, where is this coming from? Is this coming from a place of me feeling like I'm trying to control an outcome or a situation that I cannot necessarily control that outcome? And then letting it be. Like, I can't control this, and it is how it is, what it is, and it's going to turn out, you know, how it turns out. And that's freeing. That's actually very freeing. You know, that's a state of peace and calm. So, yeah. So I just wanted to put this message out there. It with the anxiety I was feeling before I started the video, you know, I struggled to kind of get the message out there, but I did it. And, you know, so I hope this video helps somebody, and, you know, I hope you all have an amazing, blessed day or rest of the day, and I see you next time.